Good morning, everyone. It's Monday Mindset. Sometimes that's a little hard to get together, but we'll figure that out. Good morning, everyone. This is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss live with you.
Sistas. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, coming to you from a very sunny but cold North Haven on this Mindset Monday. Mindset, it is kind of the start of the foundation for the week. Obviously, the start of the week happens on a Sunday. Many think that it is Monday, and that's okay. But the mindset that we structure around different events that are happening, or different goals that we want to attain, often require us to look at it in a way like, how are we going to structure that? How are we going to achieve it? And it all starts with our mindset. And as far as mindset goes, definitely not something like, oh, I'm over here, now I have the mindset. It really is a work in progress. And I am no exception to that rule. I'm working on different things right now. So, Carol Sue, how do you, let's say, when you have a goal in progress and something that you want to achieve, and you've got a great mindset, but maybe it's something that's a little challenging, how would you approach that?
Well, it is difficult. So let's get the elephant out of the room. It is not easy to get out of a funky mindset, a despairing mindset, an anger mindset, a sad mindset, lazy mindset, because a lot of us sometimes have that as well. And you have to refocus the energy. Remove those things that are bringing you into a bad mindset scenario. So what does that mean? If you're scrolling on social media, because we use that as a perfect example, because that is an intricate part of our lives, going on social media platforms, and how do you not get sucked into the different energies that frequently can impact your mindset. Also, what can impact your mindset is you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, right? You just, maybe you didn't get a good night's sleep. Maybe you had things that were troubling you. Maybe your, heart was wrestling with something, and yet I still got to pick up the pieces. So how do you do that? At this particular time, you have to first, before you can even try to get to that mindset, right? You've got to embrace where you're at. You got to embrace your feeling. Hold on one second. Pick that up, Jan.
Well, yeah, and creating that mindset, creating that atmosphere, especially when you are in a funk, sometimes requires a little work, a little thought process. Maybe it's I call it a time out when I need like a few, just to kind of recapture my thoughts. So maybe it's like taking yourself out of that equation, putting yourself in a place where you can focus. And for me, sometimes it's just something as simple as, sitting on the futon, setting my timer for 15 minutes, closing my eyes and listening to spa music, and just like letting the muscles go, because, for instance, sometimes when we are, as I'm sitting at my office desk right now in the chair, our muscles tense up. So it's really focusing on, the breathing, letting our muscles go. And sometimes that will just bring us really to such a place of calmness that when that timer goes off after 15 minutes, we can therefore go back to whatever it is that we're working on and objectively look at it from a different place. And sometimes that is hard as well, but you have a better, clear mind, you have a better perspective when you take yourself out of that funk for a few minutes or whatever it is. 15 minutes typically works pretty well for me. And come back to what you're trying to work on, or whether it's engaging yourself in a different format. Maybe it's something as simple as, like my deck of cards here. A lot of times I'll go to my deck of cards. I'll look at the word, I've got that app on my phone, word of the day. I'll look at that when I get done with that 15 minutes, just to kind of restructure, reframe. So it seems to work pretty well for me. And, if I need more time, I give myself more time. That's okay.
Yeah, and that is, sorry about that. I had a knock at the door that I had to get to, but going back to what I was saying, there's different things that derail us personally, professionally, whatever it may be. And one of the key pieces I do is listen to music, because I think music has a way of tapping into our heart and soul that also releases maybe the anger, will release maybe the sadness, the feeling that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, or that you're kind of sliding from your goals and your energy that you're trying to achieve. So, and sometimes I'll listen to song after song after song. I specifically will go to a couple ones that will kind of let the energy out. So maybe it's a sad song, maybe it's a song that touches you in such a certain way that it brings tears to your eyes. Again, releasing that energy, crying, having a good cry is a great way to release energy, to reset your mindset. Really validating what you feel. And I think that's the hardest part for most people, is to allow them that space to say, okay, I'm putting myself in timeout and try to figure out either what's going on with me, what's bugging with me, what are my roadblocks, why am I not getting to where I want to go? Or how do I renegotiate, re-navigate? And there are some non-negotiables that you should always think about. And those non-negotiables would be not to validate how you feel. Even if you don't think it's worthy, or you're like, oh, I'm really being a big baby, or I'm like, am I just, being really pissy about this? Am I being immature about this? Am I being stubborn about this? Music has a tendency to kind of release that piece out of it. And then after I kind of do the music thing, I typically, that is when I'm in a better focused place, or a better more clarity. That's when I'll usually journal, or I'll write some notes down. How did I get through this moment? What worked? What didn't work? How can I improve a situation? What could I have done differently? And then after that, I really try to put some upbeat music on. So my whole process is, sometimes it's a long process. It could be up to an hour, sometimes maybe even longer. Sometimes I need a full day, if I'm just really in that funk. But then I always make sure that I cultivate all I did from all the different avenues, whether it was allowing myself that space, releasing some energy, then journaling. But I also need to, now I need to do kind of do me a pick-me-up. Now, a lot of people sometimes will resort to, a caffeinated beverage, an energy drink, to kind of like get them going again. I, again, resort back to music. I know I don't have my tea this morning. I got to make some tea. Deb not made that yet. And with that music, it's really motivational music. There's a couple different albums I'm listening to, but anything that gets you going, that makes you feel like, you're that tiger, you're that lioness, that you're going to go after those goals, even though you had like a crappy day, crappy weekend, crappy mindset. And that usually gets my mindset back to, and it should do the same for you, get you back to that refocus of, okay, I gave myself that time, and now it's back to get back on that trail, get back on that train, to rebuilding. Maybe you've got to make up some time for times well spent. So don't ever think you taking time for yourself in these different ways, whether it's music, writing, reading, journaling, maybe it's a workout. Some people, like when they're really like, they like to do a workout, and there's other people that it's so debilitating, a workout's the last thing they're thinking about. But so whatever works for you, figure that out, and there's many different avenues. But I think the big key is to validate. That should be always a non-negotiable, because if you don't validate how you feel, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, because that creeps up on your mindset. It doesn't go away. You may tuck it under, throw it under the rug a little bit. It will rear its ugly head again. Believe me, I know that. We all know that. Everyone knows that. When we're all human beings, and we are all perfectly imperfect. So that is going to happen. So I think the big key that should be the number one non-negotiable is to always never not validate how you're doing, how you're feeling, why you're sad, why your mind is the way it is. And once you do that, I promise you, you deserve it. Number one, you deserve that time to say, I need to just discern a few things today. Maybe you need to totally, take a few days off of whatever it is that you feel that is not serving a purpose to fuel that positive mindset. So those are some of the key pieces I do.
Right. And I think the validation part is a lot of times not something that we think about or consider. And that's really part of the process of, taking that time out, to assess a situation or assess a goal. Maybe your goal didn't work out the way you thought, but as you're validating how you feel when you're in that timeout, and I don't mean time, an adult timeout.
It's a timeout.
Yeah, it is a timeout, but you're not punishing yourself. I just want to make myself clear. But it's allowing yourself that time to, okay, this is how I feel. All right, so what can I do to get out of this funk? Or, all right, my goal didn't work out as planned, but maybe I can do it this way. That part of taking that time out is critical, because maybe you would not have thought of that if you had not allowed yourself to validate how you feel. That is so important. And obviously with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are not mental health professionals, and I just want to make that clear, but I know from personal experience that really is such an important part of the process. And I've often referred back or chatted about things that I have been through, which have helped me. And, I've shared with everyone that my sleep pattern, excuse me, lately has been totally off. I'm not sleeping that great. And I'm working on that. And obviously a lot of that, I think, and I'm being raw and honest here, it stems from my son's accident. I'm blessed and grateful. Oh my God, I'm so blessed and grateful that he's doing so remarkably well. Like that was it's just absolutely amazing. But I think for me personally, I had to validate that feeling, because I felt that all of a sudden, I don't think that I ever really dealt with that. And all of a sudden I felt like I was hit with the process all over again. So that's helping me to, validate how I feel about that, looking at the blessings and everything, even though that was such a crazy time, all the blessings that transpired, all my family and friends who rallied to support not only myself, but Ryan, get through this process. That is huge. So that validation process is critical, especially when the emotion of an event or a goal, whatever's happening in your life, is transpiring or has transpired. It's that important to validate how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key piece in all aspects of mindset that really reflects and impacts all pieces of the puzzle of your journey in life, and whatever you're really focused on to go after, to what drives you, what resonates with you, what really gets that passion flowing. You can't do that without a clear mindset. So if you're feeling foggy, if you've had maybe a few days of not such good times, maybe you having issues with your job, you're not, you don't feel like you're performing well, or if it has to do with your fitness and you've derailed, you've been eating way too much, sweets, because obviously during, as we get closer to the summer, you get more cookouts, you get more festivities, you get holidays, and people tend to work really hard for a few months because they're going after that summer month look, which to me, I think, you should be going after that summer look, whatever your summer look is, all year long. You shouldn't just only horn it in on a few months before you actually get to the summer months, because then you're establishing good health and wellness and gut health. But all those things cannot and will not be accomplished. Will always be really ready to rear its ugly head to derail you if you're not prepared for it. So it's okay to have feel pooky some days. It's okay to have sadness, to get, if you're angry, you've got some unsettled feelings. Those are all part of life, and you have to validate them. And once you validate them, that's half the battle, is validating them and saying, you know what, and accountability. You got to throw accountability in there. I screwed up today. I didn't act the best today. I didn't react the way I should have. I could have done better if I made this decision versus that decision. How many times we make decisions on the whim, I'm like, oh, shoot, I wish I could take that back. Or, even, your fitness goals. You jump into a program that really doesn't fit. You may fit all your friends. It may fit, the group of people you hang out, and you find that you're not successful at it, or it's not your thing. I mean, we have a lot of people, like Jan and I talk about this all the time. She loves going to the gym. I hate going to the gym. I'd rather work out at home. I'd rather work out in my yard. I'd rather use physical things that I can travel with to still keep me fit. I love taking power walks. Now, sure, I could get on a treadmill. I could do that, a power walk on a treadmill, no doubt, but I prefer to be outside. I prefer hearing, listening to nature. I prefer just listening, smelling things, especially this time of year although a lot of people, I hear see a lot of people sniffling and hoarse and a lot of coughing going on, and it's not the virus, people, and not any new cockamamie variant. It's allergy season, people. So no, you don't have the virus, you have allergies. This time of year, different things that you're breathing in, that's in the air, is bound to bother us. But in addition to that, there's a lot of pesticides, there's a lot of chemicals in the air that, anyone that's in the landscaping business and they're keeping up yards and businesses, property, they're using chemicals and sprays. That stuff gets in the air and that plays havoc. Or you also have those, like John's a perfect example. He'll go out to the garden and do some weeding, maybe add some new mulch, whatever it may be, and your skin touches the foliage, the leaves, the flowers, and whatnot. So not only are you breathing it in, you're getting on your skin, and that's causing those irritations. So a lot of people are having skin allergies. So it's never ending. It's a matter of just understanding, what's going on with your life and validate it. Take a deep breath and realize you're not alone. We're all constantly reevaluating. And guess what? You never stop reevaluating. You have to, because everything is ever changing. Don't you think, Jen? Like constantly changing.
Right, absolutely. And it's kind of like the reevaluation of the valuation of the validation of the mindset in the timeout. Did y'all get that?
Can you say that 3 times fast? I don't think I could, that's for sure. That was a good one. That was a mouthful, but that's really kind of what we're encompassing with mindset, because they're all different pieces to mindset. It's not just, I'm going to, listen to my favorite podcaster, or, I'm going to listen, to, a 2-clip, motivational thing. It's just going to resonate with me, and all the icky stuff I was feeling is going to go away. No, if someone's telling you that, they're giving you very bad advice. Because the piece is you're feeling what you're feeling for a reason. You need to find out that reason, but you can't find out that reason unless you validate that you actually feel that way. So the whole, I hate, probably one of the worst, I don't know necessarily that it's a line or a quote or whatever, but a lot of people do this, and I feel bad for those people. And I think we all do it to a certain degree. So I don't want to say no one does it. I think we've all had our share of doing it. Is smiling when you feel like crap. how many times have you heard, sadly, of someone succumbing to, taking their own life, and you were like shocked, like this person's always happy, they're always smiling, they're a busy bee, they're doing for others. And then all of a sudden, you're shocked because they've taken their life. What does that tell you? That tells me that that person was so hurting so much inside, had so much pain, that could not even start the tidbit to validate. You don't want to get to that point. You want to always embrace your sadness, embrace your anger, embrace your like scatterbrain, embrace that some days you're not motivated like you should be. Maybe validate that, today I had a lazy day, ate some cookies, and damn, I'm gonna have to work a little harder tomorrow. Validate where you're at. There's nothing wrong with being accountable to yourself. And I think we've been in such a society that we've got to hide our feelings, put that brave face on, smile at all costs. But who are we really hurting? We're not hurting the outside world. To a certain degree, yes, because if it came back to that piece to what I was just talking about, you're going to have people that knew that person says, oh my God, I didn't recognize the signs. What could I have done better? So there's that. But then there's also the point that there is so many avenues of help out there. You don't have to put that brave face on. I tend to wear my heart on my sleeve if I'm in a pissed off mood, if I'm in an angry mood, if I'm in a happy mood, if I'm in like a real passionate mood, if I'm in a real go-getter mood, or if it's just a day I don't feel my best, and today was one of them. I didn't want to get up and do this today. I've got some stuff going on and I'm working through that, but it's okay. I looked in the mirror and said, okay, so what are you going to do about the way you're feeling? Are you just going to tuck it under? Are you going to be accountable? Are you going to take action and then take another step forward? You have to do that. We all have to do that. You don't want to keep that stuff bottled in. It's not healthy. It eats away at your heart. It adds stress. And we know stress, we don't have to be a medical profession to say this. Stress does physical things to your body that could be shown in a rash, could be shown in loss of sleep, loss of appetite, different severe mood changes. If you recognize somebody that's got like all of a sudden not acting themselves, something's going on. Somebody complaining about, their skin, they're not sleeping well, they're breaking out, not only in rashes, but maybe acne at an age that you would not suspect that they're going to be getting acne. Maybe all of a sudden they've dropped a lot of weight. Maybe they just started putting on a lot of weight. Those are physical signs that stress is, their body is succumbing and their mind is succumbing to some sort of stress or something that's really bothering them. So what I always say, if you notice and you can't obviously pick out everyone in the world, but you can certainly focus on those that you love, that you care about. And if you notice that they start showing signs of uncharacteristic behavior, severe weight change one way or the other, again, skin rashes, complaining that they're always tired, and you notice they're not motivated when they always were. These are all signs that something's going on. And sometimes the person that's going through it just doesn't even see it. So it's not even a question that they're not being accountable or allowing themselves to validate how they feel. They may not even see it. So there's that piece to all of this as well.
Right. And on that note, this was a great conversation today, of course, on sharing all that. Some obviously, personal for me, a little humor thrown in there, but that's how we roll. We are real. We are authentic. And we have an important message to share. And today, mindset touches our hearts, touches our souls. And so I have a question for our audience. What do you do when you feel that mindset is like, oh yeah, my mindset isn't where it should be? What are some things that you do? We would love to hear your thoughts on this topics. Share some tips that have worked well for you, because maybe what you share
sisters, and this is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss. I gotta think for a second. What am I called? Naughty Boss. That's right, Naughty Boss, AKA Naughty Boss, on this Monday Mindset. Remember, to reach out to those that you think may be struggling, maybe having a hard time, but also have that talk with yourself in the mirror. Sometimes just even talking into a mirror, because how many people, that's the other thing I want to, how many people talk to themselves? I talk to myself all the time. John will say sometimes, who are you talking to? And I go, that's right, because you have conversations. When he talks to somebody, he's usually talking to out loud, but it's to the cats. I talk out loud because I'm actually talking to myself. So how many of us do that? A lot of us do that, I think. And sometimes that conversation with yourself is enough to say, oops, okay, I'm recognizing some things in myself that I need to kind of slow down and kind of figure out, whatever that may be. But Monday Mindset, go out, be positive. And if you're not feeling it, that is okay. Validate what you're feeling. And there's, tomorrow's a new day. The afternoon's a new day. This evening hack is a new day. You can wipe that slate clean and start right over again. We will see you tomorrow. We're not sure on the time yet. Sometime, I believe, around 7:30, we will see for Triumph Tuesday. And we might actually be on one screen.
Yeah, we might. So who knows? We will surprise you for sure. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.